Israel is in the international news every day, but for such a young country, it seems to be accomplishing a whole lot. Let's look at some other world powers 60 years after their independence. America, 60 years after independence, brings us to year 1836. With only 25 states, it was the time period where the first steam train was being used. America was at war with its bordering country, Mexico, and additionally with the Seminole Indians in Florida. The American colonists were pushing the Indian settlers out of much of the land, trying to explore. China, 60 years after independence, brings us to year 1972. This is included in a time of China's history referred to as the Decade of Chaos. While making huge strides involving the school systems and medical practices, they still had a long way to go. A documentary was even made this year because it was such an interesting time. The United Kingdom, 60 years after independence, brings us to year 1777. Having just come off the Civil War with America, the country was devastated. While the Industrial Revolution had already begun, the economy was terrible and people were leaving in droves for new opportunities. The USSR, 60 years after independence, brings us to year 1987. After the break from communism, many were still adjusting to the different rulership. While before everyone was happy being middle class, now for the first time, people were allowed to read, write, and say the things that they wanted. Additionally, many people were being released from jail and having to be absorbed back into society. Israel, 60 years after independence, brings us to year 2008, a mere 5 years ago. Having built huge cities and ports from nothing but stone and desert, with a land smaller than New Jersey and a population fewer than New York City, it contributes so much to the world at large. It has the highest ratio of college degrees to population, is the only established democracy in the Middle East, and home to the world's top institute of life science. Additionally, it is home to the companies which technology brought us disc-on keys, camera phones, SMS, top burn units, and the largest medicine producer. It is the country with the second largest number of companies traded on Wall Street, and 80% of the country uses solar water heaters. For such a young nation, it contributes so much to the world. Maybe the headline should be more about that. America too was relocating its settlers and had a war going on. Maybe Israel shouldn't be condemned for this behavior and should be given a little bit more credit.